All right, welcome back to another episode of Life After Sunday. Michael P, what's happening, brother?
Good to see you, man. Happy Friday. Fridays are the best day of the week.
Right. I'm off. You're off. You're retired. I'm off.
And we're going to talk about this later. It's the anticipation of the delayed gratification of the weekend.
It's beautiful. I tried not to. I spent a lot of years since I worked 410s, like I was just looking for Friday, man. I try because if you do that often, week's gone.
Yeah. Try to be present each day.
Yes, but that's not to say in the back of my mind, I'm ready for Friday, dude. No doubt.
Probably in my last few years of working administrative positions, or not on the street, man, it was so hard not to burn a Friday every Friday. It's so hard.
I know when I was on the maintenance crew, it was hot summer, we'd pave all week, and a lot of times work through lunch, or we'd eat and pave.
So you can leave early.
We got in this habit of leaving early on Thursdays, and so even when we weren't paving or we didn't have any extra time, we were burning our own time, through the winter and stuff, because we got used to.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we were already off on Friday.
But that's humans, man.
Know,
it's
dude,
let's get off Thursday.
Let's get off early on Thursday.
Man, you walk into Detectives after about lunch on Friday, it is a straight ghost town, dude.
Serious.
Yeah, man. Hey, I got to go follow up clues. I mean, everybody disappears, and you will see no one in Detectives past 2:00.
On Friday.
On Fridays, man. They gone.
Everybody's gone. So you ain't getting no work done.
No, and they're cheating the system a little bit, I'm sure they can justify it in their head somehow.
That's okay, I guess.
You were mentioning hot summer, and we just came out of our highest temperature last week of the summer, 104. But we get to
brutal, man.
We get to look forward to next week. I saw a high of 78 for, I think, Tuesday. High temperature of 78. Dude. That is, even for Arkansas, that's an August cold front that is kind of unheard of.
I can't even, we didn't have, how many days do we have this year of over 100?
Probably only 5.
So it seems like this summer's been long. It seems like we've had more than that.
Yeah, and that's the nature of August. Yeah. It always makes you feel that way,
dude. And we were talking yesterday. How we had this would be kind of our second little cold snap we've had.
Second August cool front.
A few weeks ago we had that one over the weekend.
Yep.
And dude, I'm ready.
Wait, it's gonna be awesome, man.
Even the last few days, it's been in the low 90s.
Humidity's down.
So that helps, man.
Dude, we got to have some rain. Next week we're supposed to get some rain, but we've only, at my house, there's been hit and miss showers at other places, but I've only had a 1/4 inch of rain in the last 30 days. And you can actually see the trees. Have you noticed the trees starting to get stressed when you drive around? You can just see a trees turning brown, or the drought's starting to kick in.
If we don't get rain, that could mess up fall colors.
Turn fall where the leaves just turn brown and fall off, man. That's so brutal. Did you know that most days, the record for most days over 100 degrees was 54 days in Ozark in 1954? Can you imagine almost 2 months straight of 100-degree weather? What a nightmare, dude.
I think what we did now is bad.
And then this would be even more brutal. In 1934, the longest period in Arkansas with no rain was 101 days. Can you imagine 3 months?
Oh.
The trees would just be dying
Dude, everything would be crispy.
Yeah, that'd be a nightmare, man.
That'd be brutal.
But we can look forward to Arkansas, our area here. Our first freeze is usually October 25th to the 31st. So
really?
We're roughly 30 days out from our first frost/freeze.
Beautiful.
And so our average temperature drops 6 degrees in the month of September. So we're on the way down, man. I think we're done with hundreds. I think we're on the downhill slide to football, fall.
We got like 5 college football games tomorrow.
You know how brutal hot they're going to be, man. Those first couple of games in the South.
The Kansas State and Iowa State are actually playing in Ireland.
That's pretty cool.
That'll be cool to watch. That comes on early, I believe. And I want to just a quick shout out to everybody listening. Thanks for listening. However you listen to us, hit that like, subscribe button, share the podcast with a brother that you think might get blessed out of this. Even if you don't like it, still share it.
Yeah, whatever it takes, man.
Whatever it takes. What you got for us on the quick hitters, man?
So, looks like Trump's following through on the military. News reports say military is planning cartel attacks. I know they've been running Reapers or drones over Mexico, gathering all the electronic signals intelligence, which the cartels probably aren't used to. If you have a cell phone, you're going to get blown up because that's how they identify and track you. I'm sure they're trying to learn, but in the Middle East, they became so good at tracking down and killing an individual person that they wanted. And then they've also moved some ships down off the coast of Venezuela and South America to deal with the dope coming across in the water. So
how sophisticated is the cartel nowadays?
They're very sophisticated, but for the problem for them is we have a 20-year war where we literally would track down a list of people that we had to kill and became very, very efficient at it. So if we decide to go after cartel named so-and-so, you're probably going to get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They talked about it. It's kind of interesting to hear that they're planning. And if they actually go through with it, I'll be shocked because it's never happened before.
You think they will go through with it?
I don't know yet. I mean, right now they're flexing, and they're probably flexing to see if the cartels will respond, because there used to be kind of an unwritten rule. Don't bring your, they send their dope over, but don't come in here and kill people in the United States. Don't kill DEA members that are in Mexico. But they kind of broke that by doing hits in the United States. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this new unwritten, rules of the game end up being. Because if you're a cartel member and you look at the Middle East, the United States has the ability to destroy your money-making empire.
Quick.
So it would behoove you to kind of go back to the old rules.
Yeah.
And chill out a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see. There was another interesting military story. So they do incentive rides in the military. So like when you do a good job or you get an award, my friend Skripka got to do one. He got Airman of the Quarter back when he was in the Air Force. So you strap up in the back of an F-15. They give you a little bit of training, and they take you on a ride on a fighter jet. And so this is not the first time it's happened, but they had just finished their ride in the F-15. And there's, you've seen Top Gun. You got the ejection handles. Well, in Top Gun, they're up here, but in the more modern jets, they're right beside each thigh. They're big yellow handles with black cross hatches on them. And they tell you beforehand, don't pull these. So and there's video of it. They're taxiing down the runway. And luckily...
So this was after the flight was over.
After the flight's over.
They've landed.
Yeah. And apparently they... I don't know, went to adjust their seat, or they told them to safe the ejection seat, and they thought it meant pull the handle. And they ejected on the runway, up in the air, over and landed over on the side. So this rocket motor, I mean, when you get ejected, you lose like an inch of height. I mean, it compresses your spine. You can get seriously injured if you're not ready, like if your neck's down and you're not, you're supposed to know you're going to eject. You get in the proper position.
Yeah.
And what it does when you go to eject, it tightens all your belts, and then literally a rocket motor shoots the seat out, seat separates, and then your parachute And luckily, American jets have a 0-0 ejection seat, so you can eject on the ground and live. But I saw it, man, like that chute just opened up and got full air, and then it hits the ground. So the amount of embarrassment that you're going to get that will follow you throughout your whole career. What a nightmare. And I was telling Steve, I wish that would have happened to him when he did his ejection ride. I was like, I wish you would have pulled the wrong handle.
So the
and
guy
got
didn't
popped.
get hurt.
Probably minor injuries. And actually, I think it was a female recruiter.
Okay.
But there's been lots of.
So when she ejected, does that eject the pilot too, or just her?
Well, that's a key point. Good question, because the pilot can set. If he has an aviator in back, he will say when the backseater pulls, it ejects him first and then me second. But if you have somebody
like a timer thing,
because you trust his decision to eject because you're about to crash. But if you have someone who's not an aviator, you say, if they pull the ejection seat, they go, I don't go, I make my decision to go. So Mr. Pilot's taxiing down the runway, and all of a sudden a rocket explodes over his head after the canopy ejects. And it's just, that would be so embarrassing. But it's not the first time. It's happened several times. Somebody will be in a turn and they go to secure themselves, like usually 0G when they come over the top and they start to float up in their seat. They'll reach down to grab the seat instinctively and yank the handles. Yeah, it's happened several times.
So I guess just like in the movie, the canopy flies off first.
Well, because they had zero airspeed, instead of the canopy ejecting off the plane, all it did is go up in the air and land. And that they say the canopy weighs like 1,000 pounds and lands on the back of the jet. So it probably damaged the jet. It landed in between the engines.
Oh.
So it popped up, did a flip, and then landed on the jet. And then you see her rocket out.
So I guess if you're actually moving any amount of speed, when that thing flies up, it's just going.
Yeah, it's gone. It gets out of the way. So I thought that was pretty funny. So I had to give Steve some crap about it. I wish he would have been ejected.
Would you take a ride if you were offered one?
Oh, that's been my dream since I was a kid, man. When you got Airman of the Quarter when I was in, they just gave you a plaque. I mean, we didn't. But, I mean, I did get to sit in an E3 AWACS, and I got to do takeoff, landing, and the jump seat, and then I got to watch the aerial refueling. So that was way cool.
Yeah.
But, no, I never got
somebody walked up to you tomorrow and said, Mike, out of nowhere, and just said, you've been selected to go for a ride.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't because I'm too tall.
Really?
Yeah, fighter jets, I'm 6'6" is too tall. It's like riding in Eric's Jeep when the seat is straight up, my head sticks out the.
Like, you'd be hitting the canopy.
Yeah, like it would break my neck if we, ejected.
So what's like the
something.
maximum height you think?
I think it's about 6'4", which is still pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good height, but I'd be flying a big heavy jet because I'm just too tall.
Weird.
And if Miss Puckett would have taught me how to do math better in 7th grade, I might have tried to go the pilot route.
We have breaking news coming in from Eric GTP. He said he's not gonna.
Is he live with us?
He is, but he said there's no sound.
We like to be better in silence.
No sound on the live feed. Let me see if I can work that out real quick.
While you're looking that up, an interesting thing here that happened locally is our lock and dam had a gate that was stuck open and water's just gushing out. And you're like, okay, that's no big deal. Problem is they were thinking that they might have to drain the Lake Dardanelle down to repair it.
Yeah.
The only problem is Arkansas Nuclear One, which supplies like 25% of the power for Arkansas, would have to completely shut down because it uses water for one of the reactors. It wouldn't have to completely shut down. One of the reactors, unless the other one was in an outage, would have to shut down because its lake water feed that it uses to cool the reactor would not be available due to the lake being drained.
Really?
But luckily, the Corps of Engineers was able to fix it, and they got it unjammed, so it's no longer It's no longer a threat, but that's something I never thought of. Like if the dam ever has a major structural problem,
yeah,
and they have to drain the lake, I mean, we're going to lose a reactor. And if the other one's in outage, we'll lose both. Because right now, I don't know which one. We have one that's water cooled and another one that doesn't require lake water, if I remember correctly. And John's out there doing an outage. They're replacing turbines out there, so they only have one reactor up. But yeah, who'd have thunk?
I would have not thunk that at all.
Were you able to fix our sound, or we're just going to have to bypass it? This is what happens when you're a ghetto podcast. When you don't have a whole team behind the scenes doing it.
And this is actually our only second time in a year and a half to ever go live. We've not done it.
Well, in the while you're looking, we have a future podcast coming up with
oh yeah, this would be good.
It's Duval. What is his first name? Luke?
Logan
Duval. So Logan Duval is a local Arkansas guy from this area. He has like 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he is all into health foods, using, like from what you eat to getting more sunshine on your body. He's going against like what all the major pharmaceuticals have said. And he started this research whenever his son got cancer, and he wanted to know why his son had cancer. And he basically went full Rain Man on it.
Oh, wow.
When I hear this guy talks, he sounds like a doctor. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And we're going to get to have him on, and his family runs a market in Little Rock of all locally grown food, and it's super healthy stuff. It's an amazing place. It's called McGee and Me.
Mm-hmm.
And after this podcast, in preparation for him coming on, we're going to go visit the market and probably end up buying some raw honey or raw milk or eggs or, cantaloupe, whatever. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a good one.
That's going to be fun.
Hey, he has interviewed Mel Gibson. Okay. Mel Gibson.
That's crazy.
Likes what he has to say. He's interviewed some huge people, and this guy just started it from scratch on his own.
He did.
And he's amazing. So I forget, what is his podcast called again? I will look it up.
Sowing
Prosperity. So if you're on YouTube, look up Sowing Prosperity. Listen to a couple of his episodes. It's pretty darn good.
It's great.
I listened to the one on sunshine, and we'll talk about this when he comes on. But one of the major points is he's like, they tell you the sun is bad, and he has a full several episodes on how the sun is actually good for you and how it causes chemical reactions in your body. And here's what convinced me. He showed there's a map. Anybody can find it. If you look at a map of where most skin cancer occurs,
mm-hmm.
the most skin cancer occurs in the cloudiest states. You would
Weird,
think
isn't it?
Florida would be number one. No, sir. It is the state of Washington.
Crazy.
So that ought to tell you something right there.
Unbelievable. I don't know why. We will press on to our main topic.
All right.
We still got one more quick hitter.
What is it?
The cell phone ban in schools, bell to bell, no cell phones.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before, but you got a unique experience to kind of lead us into it, because you have a daughter who's in school and who's affected by this. Tell us about that. Tell us what she said.
Well, I had honestly forgot about the whole situation until we went to orientation, and they gave us a whole little printout describing the bill or the law and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a great thing, and even then she was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
But first day, I asked her how her day was, and immediately she said, I had it in my phone all day, and I think it's a great thing. And her not so much. I think later on she will appreciate it more. But one of the things that stuck out to me is at lunchtime, they used to get to play on their phones, and now they can't play on their phones, not even at lunchtime. They're locked down till the end of the day, and they're actually having to have real conversations and talk to each other, interact with each other, and so in my mind, it's taking me back to like how it was when we were in school.
That was your favorite time to talk with your buddies and trade food.
Yeah, start a food fight.
I mean, imagine, so if you were just on a camera watching the lunchroom, pre-phone ban, all the heads would be down looking at phones.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're talking to each other. The government, we complain about a lot that they do, but man, they nailed it on this ban.
Nailed it, dude.
And what's funny is all these mothers, all these, I don't know, people who parent their children in a way that I would never do, flipping their lid. How am I going to get a hold of my kid? All this crap. And you think when we grew up in the 80s, if your parents in the early 90s, if your parents needed you, they called the office and they sent somebody down. I'm like,
100%.
There's nothing that you need to be able to do something. And then they're like, well, what if an emergency? What if a school shooter happens? Well, the teacher will have one, but I mean, you're not going to, I mean, that's a less than 1% chance of something happening at the cost of 99% of the, or of the kids just being.
I hate that argument that says, what if there's a school shooting? Well,
what if a meteor hits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if there was one? These people are trained. Atkins has 2 resource officers, one at the middle school, one at the high school. So your kid's going to be fine. You will be notified.
Yeah.
It might not be as instant as with your kid, but I think for the parent, like it would be better for me to hear from the school or get a mass text or something than hear from my kid flipping out that there's an active shooter there.
And to be honest with you, a kid has a higher chance, in my opinion, of survival if they're not looking at their phone and they're actively using their survival instincts to stack stuff on the door, or to move to a better position, because your instincts will come in to survive. But if you're on your phone texting your fear, your eyes aren't up, and you're losing.
Trying to video and all kinds of crap.
You're losing that second. It's the same thing that a lot of cops run into, and I used to really hit on this. Like, and you watch video, you can watch videos of this. Someone is shooting at you, and the officer feels the need to get on the radio and yell shots fired, or, to get that help is not going to be there quick enough to help you in that singular moment. In that moment, you need to be responding to the threat, and only after you have enough time after you've put down the threat or you're at a point of safety, then get on your. But you'll see literally the first thing they want to do is maybe they're shooting one hand and they're all about the radio. Like, leave the radio alone until you take care of what's right in front of your face. Same thing there with cell phones. Like, work on survival. So I think that's just kind of a goofy argument against it. And I think having this is a wonderful thing to help break the dopamine addiction that we're going to talk about today.
Like, you actually started all this dopamine and instant gratification rabbit hole we've been down all week.
Yeah.
Last Sunday, you sent out a text in our group talking about you were wanting to take a break from social media. What brought that on with you?
Well, I've done it in short periods before, but I found I could just tell that it just didn't feel right. Like, the amount of time I was spending on reels and stuff. And I just thought I need to do something different.
Now that you say that, Carrie, my wife, she'll go into those time frames. Like, she'll know, and she's self-aware, and she'll notice, she'll get mad at herself.
Same.
Like, I do my phone now. Like, what am I doing?
Yes. Yes.
And so
same here.
She'll just go on those things and just delete it off her phone for a while until she feels like she can get back on it. You know what I mean?
I think the thing that kind of pushed me over the top was I saw a news article about an Indian truck driver who did a U-turn in the middle of the road, and 3 people in a van hit it, crashed, and killed them.
Let me talk. Hold on a minute. There are Indian truck drivers everywhere.
Everywhere. Matter of fact, most truck stops are now fully Indian now. And so they've taken over the American trucking industry, and that's another
that's a whole
nother rabbit hole. But I think and then I was seeing, even though I say I don't like them, I was seeing car chases, officer involved shootings. Obviously, it knows I was a cop. And I was like, I'm enjoying my day. I don't need to hear about this death. I don't need to see Cortez, what's her name? OCA, what is it? What's her initials? Come on. Cortez, the female that's decent looking, female. What's her name? OCA, whatever.
I don't know.
Who cares? And then I was seeing Jasmine Crockett, and every time I see her, she just chaps my ass. She's just so dumb.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, I don't. And what I found was it was stealing my joy of my day. I'd come off Facebook pissed, so I was like, so that initiated it, and I got you, Eric, allegedly.
He's our only viewer right now. He's watching, but he cannot hear us, and he's texting. He's like, "I bet you guys are saying important stuff." We'll try to get those king. Then that's my fault for not. I should have tested it. Anyway,
who cares? We're not pros. And then I got Craig. Craig did it, and he goes, and Craig said, he texted me yesterday. He goes, "What do you think?" And I texted him, and he goes, "It's so weird." He goes, like, because his thing was he didn't just stop social media; he stopped playing games. Again, that's also the dopamine cycle.
We talked about that and
he's a big phone gamer.
Yeah,
always has been. Just and he said, I will find myself like when I have spare time. It's like literally he's sitting there looking around the room like I was. Okay, what do I do here?
Yeah.
And like we were joking, like, you go to the bathroom, all of a sudden you're like staring at the wall, like when you're using the potty, and you're like,
you need to break out the magazine rack.
And that's
the
what
toilet,
I said.
Man.
We need to break back the magazine racks, bro. Like a magazine you'd never read. Suddenly, when you're taking a dump, you're highly interested in reading the full article.
Put you like a little devotional book on the back of your
there
toilet
you go.
or something.
I mean, how do you think Reader's Digest became so popular? Back in the day, you'd read a whole neat, uplifting story about somebody.
Dude, I can remember going in the bathroom, like, it wasn't so much at my own house, but if you're going to like a relative's house or something, like,
be a stack,
dude, of magazines by the toilet.
There's nothing better than reading when you're taking a potty.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was interesting. And so tell me a little bit about now
let me give you my take on this.
Let me set this up because your pull away from this cycle is not going to be as drastic because you haven't had Facebook in many, many years. You don't have Instagram. You don't have TikTok. All you had was Twitter,
and I don't even have Twitter on my phone. I just get on Twitter, like when you guys send a link or whatever, I'll open it and it takes me to Twitter on my Safari.
So your dopamine pullback is not as drastic, but what was your experience with that?
Well, I think one thing it taught me, and I didn't even realize it till last night. You said that, but since I've been off of social media, my YouTube usage is probably the same, if not higher, than most people's social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that instance, I realized, this whole week, it hasn't really affected me. You guys not sending links and stuff to Twitter.
Yeah. How many links? We haven't sent any links this week, hardly.
No. So our group chat is way down.
Way down.
But it learned me, like, if I'm going to do this properly, I should have probably taken a break from YouTube, to be honest with you.
It's funny that you say that because one of my experiences was YouTube was not huge for me, but it increased.
Yeah.
With no Facebook, Twitter, I don't have anything else, but I had Facebook and Twitter. With those two gone, YouTube went up. So I thought to myself, Monday or Sunday will be 7 days. I'm at day 5. And that maybe next time I need to include YouTube to do the full transition.
We talked about it, and I mentioned it here, and just like Craig, your buddy Craig, it's like if you get off of one thing, like you get off the social media, like if they say Craig, if he would have just got off social media, he would have replaced it with the games.
100%.
But he chose to do both, which is huge. Like, we can't, when we do things like this, like take a break from social media or take a break from these dopamine hits we're getting, or these long sustained things, like we shouldn't replace it with something different. You know what I mean? You should replace it with a nonfiction book or read the Bible more, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's going to help you grow as a person and be good for you. Learn how to build something or whatever.
Well, and that's one of the positive things I got from it was instead of scrolling for 30 minutes after my lunch,
Yeah.
I sat down for a minute, drink some water, and then I back up. I'm using my hands. I'm out. I'm doing something.
Right.
I'm organizing something, so I have more positive interactions. And so we're going to get into why this matters here in a minute, which is highly fascinating. But one of the things that I've gotten better at is conversations with my wife. Because now whenever she talks, instead of my brain literally knocking at the door, wanting to check my phone constantly, I don't have that, so I'm more
You're
dialed
engaged,
in
locked
to my
in.
wife.
Yeah.
And so actually let's go into that before we get into why that is.
So the whole thing that we even bringing this up is like delayed versus instant gratification, and what our brain gets wired to when we have all this instant gratification. Our world is littered with instant gratification and these dopamine hits.
And it's bad. So what I did some reading up on this. So I think y'all will find this fascinating.
What is dopamine?
Well, before we get into that,
right.
but let's talk about why this matters.
Okay.
So humans, let's just go since Jesus died, for the last 2,000 years. It goes a lot longer, but for the last 2,000 years, humans, our brains are built for delayed gratification.
Yes.
Which is good. Think about it. And until the last 50 years, 70, maybe longer for TV, which is just a little bit. But then the last 25 years with the advent of phones. Prior to that, thousands of years, there rarely was instant gratification because in order to have food, you sowed seeds and you planted crops, which is what? Delayed gratification. A meal required preparation, a lot of preparation.
Yeah.
So a delayed gratification of preparing the food, waiting on it to cook, and then eating it. Talking with your wife, or vice versa. The wife, you're out in the fields all day, you're working, they're outside, and then they would look forward to coming home because they hadn't talked to their wife all day.
Yeah.
Delayed gratification.
I'll stop right there because I know, like, I was on maintenance crew. Cedric would always give me or whoever a hard time if their wife would call, or you'd call your wife. And
we did too.
He's like, "What are you gonna talk about when you get home?"
Yeah,
but it's the same thing you're talking about.
Yes.
Though. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I love talking to my wife,
but it's delayed gratification.
Yeah,
because most
like if I want to talk to my wife, I just call her and talk to her.
Yeah, and that's instant.
Yes,
and so our human mind is designed for delayed gratification, and so now we're getting cheap dopamine hits. And so let's go into dopamine. Dopamine is it's a neurotransmitter in your brain. And so
your brain is wired for this. Like,
yes. And everything that is on our phone has been designed to exploit this weakness in our brain. And so what they're doing is the neurotransmitter is triggering a surge in dopamine levels in your head, which dopamine is going to give you feelings of pleasure, and then also it's huge in anticipating rewards, because with dopamine, when you get your first hit on something new, as you begin to use it, you don't get as much of a hit from the first use. It then turns into anticipation and craving. So they've done studies where they can show after you've been doing something for a while, the dopamine, your dopamine hit starts to come from the anticipation of picking up the phone and seeing what goodies are there, because the art of scrolling and tricking our mind is not giving you a killer video every single time, much like a slot machine.
Yeah.
They found a person on a slot machine will pull the handle 600 times in an hour. Well, you don't get a hit every time. So then it becomes anticipation and craving. So you're pulling it, dang, I didn't get it, but I'll get it on the next one. Well, scrolling is the same thing. Crappy news article, crappy video. Oh, there's a good one. And then it creates this cycle of your brain hunting to fulfill the craving and anticipation.
Wow.
And so it's all designed to exploit that. And so the algorithms all play into this. And they analyze your past behavior and learn how to basically turn your phone, just to kind of use an example, like a slot machine.
Yeah.
And so why is this bad? So it's called the
dopamine. This dopamine thing is not, wasn't designed to be it's designed to be a good thing. But what's happened in our generation is it's been overstimulated. Now it is I don't want to use the word that it's a bad thing, but overstimulation is a bad thing.
It is.
The dopamine is supposed to be good for us.
And drive you toward things that will help you.
Yes, motivation and rewards, but the overstimulation, we lose that.
You lose it, and it gets very shallow. So, and you know what's funny is what we're talking about applies to drug addiction, alcohol addiction, pornography. It applies to all of
everything.
Your
just
brain,
like somebody that's addicted to drugs or pornography. Just like you said, like the guy that's addicted to pornography, maybe he once was watching soft porn. Who knows what he's watching now?
Well, and that goes into let's talk about that. It's tolerance and escalation.
Yeah.
And so with repeated exposure, the brain begins to downregulate dopamine, and it lowers the baseline. It's called tolerance. And what once provided you this strong reward is now insufficient.
Yeah.
So now you have to start looking for more. You could be posting more often, scrolling longer to achieve the same effect. And then it turns into a habit. So the interesting thing about it is, and it's probably why we don't need to be so judgmental to drug users and things like that. In the base, as far as your brain knows, it's operating off being addicted to social media is operating off the same mechanics as a drug dealer or a drug user, addicted drug user, an alcoholic, and a porn user.
Yep.
It just so happens your dopamine fix is coming off something that is legal and not viewed by society as bad.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, your brain's operating off the same mechanism as a drug user and a porn user.
Yes.
So keep that in mind when we're casting our judgments down on people.
Back to porn. I mean, I can relate to it. I was addicted to porn at one time in my life, but like these guys, like my pastor was telling me a while back. He was wanting to talk to this guy at our church, and it was so bad. Like he's just such addicted to porn. Like he couldn't even make love to his wife. Couldn't like get an erection without her holding the phone above her head.
And that's because
pornography.
His tolerance.
Yes.
So that goes back to let's go back to what used to turn us on was a Sears Roebuck's bra section catalog, because that was the first reward.
Yeah.
You get into porn and you first start watching soft porn. And then after a while, it gets boring. And then it begins the escalatory ladder that is no different than, man, I enjoy looking at these perfectly okay videos on scrolling, but now I need more because I'm not getting enough. And so why is this bad for the brain? And I think it can affect everything. So chronic dopamine surges, it reduces the brain's sensitivity to natural rewards, such as enjoying a meal, exercise, and face-to-face conversation. So what this does is, how does this affect you? Think about this. The way that God designed our bodies, the delayed gratification means whenever I get home, I enjoy talking with my wife. But if your brain is addicted to the cheap dopamine hits of social media, you will begin to find the conversations with your wife irritating and boring.
Yep.
How can you go outside and enjoy a beautiful sunset and the beautiful sky and the wind blowing when your brain is used to the crack of a reel?
Can't do it.
You
won't do it.
Of a killer video, a amazing video. Yeah. You can't enjoy the things that God gave us to enjoy because your tolerance level is so high that, quote, boring things, eating a good meal, enjoying conversation, enjoying the beauty of our earth around us, enjoying friendship. When you're sitting there,
just enjoying conversation in general.
And think about it. That's why you can't talk with anybody without them looking at their phone, and in their head they justify it. They'll say, oh, this could be important, or, oh, let me do this real quick. And it's insulting when you're talking to somebody and they pick up their phone.
Or you're a dude and you wonder why your wife hadn't touched you in 3 months and you're addicted to porn and you're not chasing her anymore. And
because you're not chasing her because your
you're
tolerance
getting your hit right there
is so high that nothing's going to turn you on.
Yep.
Versus when you're not on that stuff, your wife can just brush into you in the kitchen and you're looking at her like,
I know, dude.
Hey, babe, come here.
Yeah.
Or you catch her changing clothes and you just get totally fired up. I can promise you, if you're addicted to porn,
that won't happen.
You're not going to get fired up.
And your wife needs that from you as a man.
Yes.
Like, she needs that unsuspected walking out in a big T-shirt and shorts and no makeup, and you're like, dang, babe.
Yes. You're not going to get that.
Nope.
And
the same thing with like somebody that's addicted to drugs. They're hunting that anticipation for that next, so you're going to get harder and harder and more and more and more and more. And it's never going to be enough until you're dead.
That's right. And again, it's all
the same way with food.
It's
you can get instant gratification from eating. I'm going to get a cookie or
well, you're going to need more cookies, and you're going to need more.
You can't wait till after dinner to have a cookie. No, I'm going to have it now because it's right here, and I'm going to eat it because it's here.
An alcoholic, you drink every day. If you don't drink, like I try to drink once a week. I have delayed gratification. I look forward to a Friday night having a drink with my wife. For us, it works. For you, it may not.
Yeah.
But it's the delayed. And plus having the discipline to not ever use it as a crutch. Oh, I'm stressed out. Let me start drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I need more because now I'm stressed again. It's all the same. And they've actually showed, structurally, studies have shown increased gray matter in reward-related areas, while executive control regions, which control, where you want to control your behavior, begins to shrink, making it harder to resist impulses. And then here's the thing. When you're addicted to those cheap hits, your pathway leading to control, like your ADD increases, which is why, because your brain is wanting a quick, shallow stimuli over deep thinking.
Yeah.
It retrains the brain. So that's why, if you want to know why, when you're talking with your wife, if you find yourself being distracted and not interested in what she says, it's very likely a part of that is not anything she's doing. It's because your brain wants the bigger hit of scrolling social media or
whatever you're getting,
or whatever is your thing.
Yeah.
Where if you cut that stuff out or reduce it, you'll find the conversations. This is why.
And we're not saying, we've all been there. I've been there. You've been there.
That's why I'm doing it. It's because I'm there.
That's what I'm saying.
I found myself, when my wife was telling me about her work, I found my brain literally knocking at the door going, I want to go over here. I want to pick up my phone. I mean, what's going on Twitter? Is Russia attacking Ukraine?
Watch a jet video.
Watching jet videos. That ain't cool.
No.
And so that's why also, think about this. When you're looking at a video, every stimuli, I mean, you're just being, you got HD, 4K video.
They're just getting better and better.
They're getting better and better, which is hitting that. So no wonder we don't read anymore. Yeah. How boring is a page with words on it? So one of the things I've done this week is I'm like, okay, I started reading. Actually, I've got 3 unfinished books. I've finished 2 of them now, because now the reason I didn't read those books is I would pick up my airplane book.
They didn't give you a big enough hit.
And I was like, this is boring. This reading is boring.
Yeah.
Now I pick it up and it's enjoyable. And this is also the same for how many times have you been watching a movie and you're picking up your phone, checking Twitter or whatever? You're literally checking your phone during a movie.
Yep.
Because
you're not getting a big enough hit.
Because in the movie we have to wait. We have to have delayed gratification for the plot twist.
Yep.
Right now they're just building the story and it's kind of boring.
Yeah. Carrie's watching this series right now, and in the middle of it, it's more like a chick show or whatever it is. But she's over there on her phone and she's like, yeah, it's kind of boring right now. Same thing.
Exactly. And so you just mentioned your daughter.
They can't just make it like they could, but
it wouldn't be a good movie.
If
you had a climax of the movie
right at the beginning.
The whole point of a movie is the anticipated reward of the delayed gratification at the end.
You know what I didn't think about just now, but we haven't really touched on it. But it's another form of instant gratification we get now is video games.
Oh yeah, video games fully play into it.
Yeah.
But you were talking about your daughter, and it says adolescence. So we're talking about the negative effects. It can, reduced activity contributing to mood disorders. It says adolescents are particularly vulnerable to ongoing brain development and genetic factors like variations in dopamine receptors, which can amplify these effects and link to a 13% higher depression use per additional hour of use. So depression is at an all-time high in the United States. And part of what I was reading about is the human mind is if life is easy, you are going to have increased depression.
Yes.
Because the mind is designed for things to be kind of hard. And that is the reward of getting through that, be it chopping down a tree, be it going through difficulties. That's the essence of being a human being. But now, anything you need is at your fingertips.
No doubt.
And so because life is so easy for us, it's increasing our depression.
Since you're talking about kids, I want to talk about this this test I found that the psychologist Walter Miskell did back in the late 60s called the marshmallow test with kids. And basically what he did was he got children like 4 to 6, got them in a room, and most of the time he used marshmallows. But sometimes if he didn't have marshmallows, he used like a pretzel stick or a piece of candy or something. Got them in the room, or a cookie or whatever, and he said, the kids were told, you can eat this marshmallow, or you can wait 15 minutes and you'll get another marshmallow, and then you'll have 2 marshmallows. And their findings were just unreal. And basically the findings were the kids that waited the 15 minutes to get the second marshmallow, then ate both marshmallows. And he followed these same kids for decades. They were more successful in life. They didn't have the depression. They didn't have the anxiety. They had more self-control, all these things. And it's just, boom, mind-blowing. It's crazy. And like some of these kids, some of them would sing songs and get themselves distracted. Some of them would wait, instantly eat it. Some would eat it in 5 minutes. Some would.
Didn't you say some covered their eyes so they couldn't see it?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's crazy, man.
And
like these kids, he said also like they had higher test scores in school, like the standardized test scores, better social skills, better coping skills, the ones that were the delayed gratification.
Which delayed gratification appeals to the way God made us. Yeah. Don't you have a Bible verse that literally nails this?
Yeah.
Like, so we didn't need a study to tell us, because guess what? Proverbs
21:5 says, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty.
Hasty leads to poverty.
Yeah.
So
instant gratification leads to poverty. But it makes sense too, because like, okay, let's take the money side of this whole thing. Like, instant gratification. You don't have the money. What do? You swipe it on a credit card. What do? Get it with a firm. Afterpay. I've done it. We've all
get a high interest loan.
Yeah.
That's
and like I can remember my grandmother. Dead and gone now. I wish she was here to this day. But my mom's mom I can remember going to her house, and she would pay me a little bit for mowing her yard. And she wanted a new couch, a new love seat and couch for her house. She would say, "Oh, I don't have any other cash," and she would say, "But I do have a stash." And she was putting back money to pay for a new couch, cash. And she would put it. Sometimes it took her 6 months. I think this took her a year and a half. That is massive delayed gratification. Did she have the money? I'm sure she did at this point in her life, but she didn't want to take it out of savings. She didn't want to do all this stuff. So every time her paycheck, little bitty paycheck came in from her retirement, she would put back so much money every week till she got enough to walk into the furniture store and say, "I want this couch. Here it is."
And that requires discipline, and it appeals to
I don't know if I could do that.
Well, and that's the beauty of it. And that's, if you think about it, just having a savings account alone is a big step.
Yeah.
And taking money that you could go spend and sticking it over here for later. So if you really just, the more and more I read about this, the more and more I just realize that I think the United States, social media, it's not just social media. It's everything. So like, think about your commercials. Think about your Taco Bell late night commercial, where they get everything dark and they're like, "Hey, we're open late," and they're showing you cheesy stuff to eat. They're appealing to your instant gratification of your late night hunger. As a kid in college, I've noticed they've increased since college has started.
Yeah.
Come see us and fulfill that hunger desire that you have with this late night craving. So it's everything. So I think that's the number one problem we're having in America that's leading to depression. And I think too is if more people can realize that you're constantly being tricked. They actually design foods. So like a natural food, you may eat and the first few bites are good, and then after that it's just there. They're designing.
Are you leading up at the next week or what?
Huh?
Are you leading in the next week or what?
What's next week? Oh, yeah. All natural food. They're actually designing foods now to continue to appeal to your dopamine hit on every single bite, to encourage you to eat longer so that you eat more of their product.
Yeah.
It's every aspect of your life that comes into your eyes from any sort of electronic anything.
Yep.
From even advertisements you see in stores and shopping. It's all designed.
It's on your phone.
It's tricking your brain.
Yep. Your food, lust, commercials, anything, your finances, even your spiritual growth can become an instant gratification thing where it's designed to be a lifelong process.
Yes. A delayed gratification.
You can get hung up on emotional highs in your spiritual walk.
Yeah. Yeah. For instance, I'm going to be a better Christian today. I need a new Bible. And you get excited. So you order a new Bible off Amazon. Yep. And for 3 days, you're like, "I'm a good person. I did this." Yes. And what does that Bible do when it shows up?
Lays on the desk.
Sets on the desk.
Yep.
So,
and like it's everything that you're talking about that this instant gratification does to you. Lack of self-control, no discipline, no patience, all
no joy in, quote, boring stuff.
No, it's all contradictory to how the Bible says we're to be.
Yeah, isn't that fascinating?
Like,
the answer is always in the Bible.
One of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control, love, joy, peace, gentleness, self-control, all those things. The Bible says we're to have patience.
Yes, and you will never have peace if your brain needs the cheap stimuli.
No. It says right here, Romans 5:3-4, not only now, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that our sufferings produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. You're not suffering if you have all this instant gratification at all. Zero.
Difficulty leads to a happier life because but if you patch everything over every time something gets difficult, and you turn to alcohol, drugs, social media, you're not going to have a good result. And so
Paul actually said too in 1 Corinthians that he disciplines his body like an athlete so that he won't be disqualified from the race.
That's cool.
How can you have discipline? Like, instant gratification throws out discipline.
It does.
Self-control,
There is no self-discipline.
There is none.
Because think about this too. I know a lot of people out there listening have felt this, and probably your wife even, because she said something. When you pick up your phone and you're like, and you grab it and you look at it and you're like, what am I doing? Like,
Yes.
your brain said, knock, knock. And you pick up your phone and then your thinking brain goes, what? Why did I just pick up my phone? And you pick it up and there's nothing going on it.
Yeah.
Or how about this? This is pretty wicked. I've read this is actually a real thing. It's not just me. Have you ever had your phone on your hip, or you think you have your phone on your hip and you think it vibrates? They're called phantom something, like phantom vibrations.
Did it really vibrate?
No. Like I think I felt
I felt that before.
I felt it, and my phone isn't there. It's on the counter where my brain says, zzz, you think you're getting a
You
buzz,
need a hit.
that you're getting a text.
Yeah.
And you reach down there, it's not there.
You need a hit, son.
Okay, that's the brain. So we need to learn. I think one of the things I've learned as I've gotten older is how much the brain, and the Bible also says this, the brain lies to you, it manipulates you. Your heart via your brain lies to you. All things that are bad come in through the heart, which come in through the eyes into the heart. And I think if we can learn this as trying to be good people every day, we can learn our thinking mind is going to start taking over and fighting back against the prehistoric mind, which is just driving you to get constant gratification.
Yeah. I think this is something, a new hobby. I guess it's a hobby. The new thing I picked up is I'm going to try bow hunting. And it's going to be a serious test of, I believe, delayed gratification for me. I didn't even realize it to this very moment. But like, I'm having to shoot daily, a few arrows at least. There's something you just don't pick up and do. You go out and hunt, you're probably going to miss your first deer, whatever. It's harder to do.
You got to develop your shoulder muscle to hold it up.
Yes. Don't tear your rotator cuff. But the thing is, doing all that, knowing that's okay. I said I have no expectations of killing a deer this year. If it happens, great. But it's a massive thing of. There's no instant gratification in any part of that.
No, it's a wonderful.
And a lot of guys
hobby.
pick up a bow, and they go hunting, and they move too much, or they pick up their bow and they're not smooth enough, and they hit a tree and the deer runs off, and they quit.
Or they scare off the dear because they got so excited, that they yank it back and the deer hears it.
And the deer runs off, and they never go bow hunting again.
Bow hunting is a perfect hobby, and the discipline required to stalk a deer and get closer, and then put all these. Because a gun, to be honest with you, is going to give you instant gratification. I mean, let's be real. I don't know.
Anybody can go out there and shoot a deer.
You got a feeder and you got a rifle. It's so easy. Yeah. It's just boom, it's dead.
And I'm not saying that
there's anything wrong with it, but we're just talking about how what we're talking about today will perfectly flow into learning to shoot a bow.
Yes.
And
I probably will try to hunt over a corn pile this first time instead of actually going out and stalking. But even then, it's going to be harder than with a gun.
And you're going to be outside in the elements, which is good. There's been studies showing that especially people who live in cities, just taking a walk through a forest can drop your anxiety levels. But kind of closing this down.
What are some, let's talk about some real life. How can we put into some real life applications? What can we do immediately to start pushing towards delayed gratification versus instant gratification?
Well, I think the number one problem is going to be the phone.
Yeah.
And so I challenge anybody listening, try it. Just try this. And then give us your thoughts. Even if it's on a different episode, just say, hey, I tried what y'all talked about, and give us your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because all of us are going to have different experiences. Chris's is not as great because he doesn't have as much social media. Mine is more, but if I had all of them, so think about the guy who has every social media app, and at night when nobody's looking, he looks at porn. If he were to do a cold turkey on all that, he is going to have a drastic response.
And again, like this stuff, I read a study. This is based on porn, but I read a study. It could take up to 90 days to reset
your mind
just from pornography.
Yes, because
the dopamine you get,
it's so strong in that arena that the brain just it's way stronger than YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so you're going to have a detoxing period. You're also going to have FOMO. I had a little bit of that this week because I love knowing what's going on in geopolitics and the military.
Yeah.
And I had to manually go search out, like, I like reading Real Clear Defense. I didn't even know what websites to go to get the information. So you have a little bit of that, like, what's going on thing. But remember.
But also, in wanting to find that information out, you did the extra work, found it out, and you got delayed gratification.
Yeah. And instead of just with no effort, it appears right in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
It said, one of the interesting things, it said, overall, this addiction cycle hijacks the brain's evolutionary reward mechanism, shifting from adaptive motivation to maladaptive dependency. Breaking it requires intentional strategies like digital detoxes to reset the pathways in your brain to allow your brain to regain sensitivity to natural rewards, aka talking to your friends, and improve overall well-being.
Yeah.
And again, we've hit on it before, but man, if you listen to us or just with your friend group, call each other out when they pick up the phone, man.
Yeah.
Let's help each other.
I was listening to Undaunted Life the other day, and Kyle Thompson was on there, and he was talking about, like, this is a little bit of a side change, but not really talking about your friend group though. And he's talking about not everybody has a 6 p.m. friend. You can call him, text him anywhere up to 6 p.m. He's going to give you advice, come help you move, or whatever. But after 6 p.m., you call him, text him, got nothing.
Right.
But everybody needs this friend that's the 3 a.m. friend that you call. And as soon as you get him on the phone, you can hear him buttoning his pants, clipping his pistol in appendix position, and saying, "Where we going?"
And you will get those friends when you actually have real conversations and you're not having these shallow. I have to be honest with you. I'm very sensitive to it because I've always worked on it. And when I was at work and like I was talking to a boss or anybody, and they would just pull up their phone while I'm talking to them, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not talking. I'm just here for the fun of it." I'd make little comments.
That to me before.
Yeah, like I say something that's off the wall to see if they'll catch it. I'll be like, I'll just deadpan it, flow right into it, like we're talking about work, and be like, "Yeah." Then I was going to go out and see if I could abuse some citizens down on Spencer. And it's funny when they don't even catch it.
Yeah.
When they don't even catch it. So.
And also he was saying like that same friend, that 3 a.m. friend, like him and his wife and his friend and his wife, they were all out to eat, all 4 of them. Kyle, they were joking. Kyle made like a negative remark to his wife, kind of jokingly. Kind of hurt his wife's feelings a little bit. When they got done, his buddy put him to the side and said, "Dude, don't treat your wife like that." Called him out. And it made Kyle realize, Kyle didn't beat him up or get mad. He was like, "You're right. I shouldn't have said that." Apologize to the dude, both wives. You move on.
Yes.
That's what dudes need.
Your friends should be the guys to help you identify the blind spots in your life.
Yeah.
Because we all have them.
At that moment, did Kyle realize what he did? No.
He had a blind spot.
But he had a good enough buddy to call him out on it. Not in front of all the wives together. But put him to the side and said, "Hey, dude, you need to rethink what you did."
Yeah, because we ease into blind spots and like I've said a million times, man, the brain will straight lie to you, man. It's gonna lie to you.
You have yourself convinced of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and so you got to realize your brain lies to you, and your buddies are good for, "Hey, bro,
Yeah,
you need to check this."
Yep.
And it requires another thing that's so hard to get is to, wish I'd have known this 25 years ago, is just not getting butthurt over everything.
Yeah.
Getting constructive criticism is the most essential thing that you can have. But let's be real, none of us, or a lot of us, we don't really give it because the person getting it is going to get butthurt.
Yeah.
And they're immediately going to become defensive. Reminds me when I'm talking to my young man son.
I think that's worse now with that generation.
Yeah, and I'm trying to teach him, hey, this is don't get butthurt. We're just this is how we get better.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make you better by blowing smoke up your butt every day and telling you you are the greatest thing since sliced bread, but you need to work. You got a little blind spot here. You got a spot we need to work on here. That should be a continual process.
With my daughters, the same thing. When that happens, they think they're getting in trouble.
No.
And so it's the same thing. But I think it's that younger generation.
Yeah. I used to call it when I was at work. I'm like, you give somebody constructive criticism, and then the excuse fountain begins to flow.
Yeah.
I'm like, your excuses are irrelevant. It matters not why you decided to do whatever to justify. This isn't about conviction and you being bad because you made this decision. It's simply about acknowledging what happened and getting better.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I encourage that from my guys. And I'll be honest with you, I would tend to get butthurt because I'm prideful. I'm supposed to supervise this group. I had pride, but I really worked hard on dropping the pride and not getting butthurt. I failed a lot.
Yeah.
But as I get older, I'm learning not to get butthurt and just get better.
Yes.
So that's something I think all of us will always need to work on.
Yeah, 100%. So if you're listening, take a challenge from us. Fast one big dopamine hit thing in your life, whether it be social media, sugar, phone after 8 p.m., and replace it with some discipline, prayer, scripture, silence, journal, read a nonfiction book, and ask yourself, are you training your spirit or are you feeding your flesh?
And the Bible is going to be extremely boring when you're addicted to social media because the Bible's not going to give you the immediate gratification. It's going to give you the delayed gratification, which is good for your soul.
Seek delayed gratification. Dopamine will give you all these gooey feelings, but discipline, delayed gratification will give you a future of being the man that you're called to be. And I'll pray us out of here. Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for this day. Lord, I thank you for everyone listening to this podcast. I pray, God, you give us the strength, Father, to call ourselves out, Father, on these dopamine addictions that we have. Give us the strength to call them out. Tell them to us. Help us to listen to what you're saying to us. We call them out, we address them, and we fix them, Father. And help us to learn delayed gratification, Father. That's what your word tells us to do, to have patience, self-control, and discipline. That's what we seek. We love you, and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.